Welcome to the knowledge bit. Today we are going to see about the spacer design. To understand the spacer design, first you have to understand the histology of the oral structures. That is the maxilla and mandible. So, what is the need for spacer design? The rationale behind it is the tissue what you are seeing here is not rigid as such we see in the cast. It is tend to vary in the oral tissue, the oral cavity. So each part has a significance. Some will be having hard structure behind it and some will be having soft structure. So to apply the pressure during making impression, we have to apply based upon the histological nature. So there are different theories for impression making. One is the mucostatic theory, and the second will be the mucocompressive theory, and third will be the selective pressure theory. So while making impression, you have to apply the theories according to the oral cavity condition and you have to make the final impression. So now we are going to see about the Boucher spacer design. To understand this, first you have to understand two things. One is the depth of sulcus, and 2 mm short will be the tray extension for the custom tray, and third will be the wax spacer extension. So in the Boucher design, what they have advised is, so first you have to mark this 3 lines. So the spacer has to be extended only up to the 3rd line. Okay. So here they recommended to for use 1 mm base plate thick wax. It has to be adopted all over the cast. So only exposing the PPS region. The rationale behind this is the PPS is considered as a vital structure to be compressed within the physiological limit in order to aid the retention for the denture. So in this technique we are exposing the PPS and covering all the area of the denture bearing surface up to the spacer line. In coming to mandible, in the same way the spacer 1 mm thickness base plate wax has been adopted all over the ridge and exposing the buccal shelf area. Buccal shelf area is considered as the primary stress bearing area, so it has been allowed to expose in this design, so by which we are going to apply the pressure in the buccal shelf area while making the impression. So this is about the Boucher's design. So once the impression has been made, once the border molding has been done, they are recommended to give a hole in the palatal region with using number 6 round bar for the relief folds. So now we are going to see about Morrow, Rudd and Rhodes spacer design. In this, if you see, the same way what we followed in Boucher, the spacer has been 4 mm short from the depth of sulcus. The concept here is they are covering all the denture bearing surface area and it should be including the PPS. And one more thing, they given the tissue stopper in a 3 specific region, one in the incisive papilla and 2 in the molar region. This this stopper has a special dimension, that is about 4 mm into 4 mm dimension, and it has to be spread at equidistance from each other. And they are going to follow the minimal pressure technique here, so they advise this spacer design. The next one will be J.J. Shary spacer design. This is also based on the minimal pressure technique. Here, the similar to the Rudd and Morrow design, they have advised to extend the base plate wax all over the denture bearing area, again similar to 4 mm short from the depth of sulcus. And the difference here is they have given the 4 stoppers, that is 2 in the canine region and 2 in the molar region, and the dimension for the stopper is varying from the previous design. Here they are extending the stopper from the palatal ridge area to the mucobuccal fold on the buccal aspect. It is about 2 mm width. Similarly, it has the same design for the posterior 2 stoppers. The 4th stopper will giving more extra vertical stop for the impression tray. Similar to that of maxilla, mandible also has the same design, that is 4 stoppers, 2 in the canine and 2 in the molar region. And here this base plate wax is extended all over the ridge and 4 mm short from the depth of sulcus and 2 mm from the desired tray outline border, and here also they are exposing the buccal shelf area. Coming to next design, that is Bernard and Levin design. This design is based on the selective pressure technique, and here they recommend the adaptation of base plate wax only in the area where there is a more amount of soft tissue, especially in the residual ridge area where there is more amount of bone resorption of the residual ridge, and there will be chance for more abundant soft tissue in this area. So they are covering only the ridge portion of the maxilla and exposing the posterior hard palate. The reason behind is posterior hard palate is the one of the main first and primary stress bearing area, so it can be exposed in order to get the support for the denture. So now we are going to see the next spacer design. This is Halperin design. If you notice here, they have given a 1 mm of base plate wax is adopted all over the peripheries. It's including the PPS region and exposing the crystal portion and the hard palate of the maxilla, and in mandible they are exposing the crystal region of the alveolar ridge, but it's covering the peripheries of the mandible also. So the concept here is they have provided the space on the peripheries, so by which the tray what you are going to fabricate is will be intimate contact in the exposed region and there will be space in the peripheral region. So only the peripheral region will be molded in the secondary, there is a border molding. So after border molding, the compound material will be forming a butt joint with the tray border, and so that will be having the exact molding of the peripheries. So in this technique there is no need for secondary wash impression. So why? Because the peripheries are molded with the low fusing compound, there is a tray compound, and then there is a custom tray is having the close adaptation with the denture bearing tissues. So this will be having more intimate contact, so there is no need for secondary impression. So next spacer design will be a McGregor technique. Here by seeing this only you can able to differentiate that only the incisive papilla and the mid-palatal raphe has been covered with the thin layer of metal sheet and exposing the ridge and the posterior portion of the hard palate. So as I mentioned, it's selective pressure technique, and they're only covering the area where there is an inadequate soft tissue beneath the mucosa, and also the incisive papilla. Why? Because it has the exit of nerves and blood vessels. So next will be the Sheldon technique. In this, similar to that of the McGregor technique, they are only covering the incisive papilla and the mid-palatal raphe. The variation will be we are using the base plate wax. So it's almost similar to that of the previous one, but the concept here is they want to cover the vulnerable tissues, that is the incisive papilla and the mid-palatal raphe. The next one will be the Smith spacer design. So in this, if you notice here, they are covering the mid-palatal raphe, incisive papillae, and they are extending the base plate wax all over the ridge. So the concept here is this ridge is the most vulnerable for the resorption and it may having the unsupported tissue. So they recommend to cover the ridge area and also the incisive papilla and the mid-palatal raphe. And they have also recommend to incorporate the stopper in the canine region, that is bilaterally on both the cuspid region. So the idea behind this exposing this posterior part of the palate is it's going to give support for the impression making, and this exposed portion will act as a vertical stop, and also it helps the tray to be positioned properly in the oral cavity, and also it provides the space for the impression material to flow in the spacer region. This is the miscellaneous spacer design. Here they have adapted the base plate wax all over the denture bearing area of the maxilla, again 4 mm short from the depth of sulcus, and they have given the 4 stoppers, 2 in the canine and 2 in the molar region, and they have also exposed the posterior part of the hard palate. The reason behind this is the primary stress bearing area, so it can be compressed during the impression. So this is the selective pressure technique. So similarly for the mandible, they are adapting the base plate wax all over the denture bearing area of the mandible and exposing the retromolar pad the concept here is a stress bearing area, it's a secondary stress bearing area in mandible, so it can be exposed during the impression making. So they have given the opening for this retromolar pad and 2 canine stoppers bilaterally. This will help in the proper placement of the tray and also provide the space for the impression material to flow. The last but not least, the last spacer design. So this is recommended for the undesirable clinical situation where there is an excessive amount of alveolar bone resorption in the anterior portion of the maxilla and the tissues will be left unsupported. And similarly for the mandible, there is a severe atrophy of the mandibular anterior ridge and also there is resorption, unsupported tissue in this region. This design can be used. So this is called a T-spacer design. It's covering the incisive papilla, anterior portion of the maxillary residual ridge and also the mid-palatal raphe. In lower, similarly the anterior portion of the alveolar ridge will be covered. So this is recommended for the special clinical condition where there is a specific unsupported tissue in the anterior portion of the ridge.